A Prince of Swindlers, by Guy Boothby. Chapter 1. A Criminal in Disguise. I had only 1 year left in India before my time as Viceroy came to an end. It was during a visit to the Maharaja of Malakadir that the story truly began, though I didn't know it then. One warm morning, I set off alone for a quiet ride through the jungle trails surrounding the palace. I knew the region well, or so I thought. Within an hour, I was thoroughly lost. The jungle closed around me, dense and unfamiliar. The usual signs were missing. The sun overhead played tricks through the branches, and I realized, uneasily, that I was completely off course. Just as anxiety began to rise, I spotted a glimmer through the trees. I pushed forward and emerged at the edge of a lake, and there it was. A palace of marble stood gleaming on an island in the center of the water, connected by a narrow white bridge. It was breathtaking, something out of a dream, or a fable. I crossed, half expecting to find some hidden prince or ancient shrine. But what I found instead was an Englishman. He stood in the grand hall beneath an arched dome. Short, pale, and striking in appearance. His eyes were sharp, his hair nearly silver, and he wore a robe of deep blue silk like an Eastern noble. He introduced himself as Simon Carne, a fellow countryman who had left England behind for solitude and art. The palace, he explained, was his sanctuary, built to escape the noise of the world. There was something hypnotic about him, his manner, his voice, the way he spoke of philosophy and beauty with equal ease. He entertained me with wine, showed me his priceless collection of art and antiquities, and we spent the afternoon in comfortable conversation. He mentioned he might return to London someday. When we parted, I felt I had met someone quite unusual, but harmless. I had no idea how wrong I was. Months later, back in London, I received a note. Carne had arrived, and true to his nature, he had taken up residence in an elegant townhouse in Portchester Gardens. Remembering his hospitality, I returned the favor and introduced him to society. He became an instant sensation. London's elite were taken with him. He dined with ministers, danced with duchesses, and hosted soirees that were the talk of the season. Yet even as he charmed the drawing rooms of Mayfair, strange things began to happen. Priceless jewels vanished from locked safes. A renowned collector awoke to find his rarest painting replaced with a forgery. A countess's diamond tiara disappeared during a masked ball. No witnesses, no clues. Scotland Yard was stumped. The thief, they said, was brilliant, almost invisible. Some even whispered it was the work of a criminal mastermind. None suspected the elegant Mr. Simon Carne. And then, as suddenly as he had appeared, he was gone. No farewell, no warning. His house was found empty, his staff gone, the rooms stripped of valuables. It was as though he had never existed at all. Weeks later, I received a parcel by post. Inside was a thick envelope sealed with red wax. It contained a letter and a manuscript, both from Simon. The letter was calm, almost friendly. He thanked me for my help and hospitality. Then, with no trace of shame, he confessed to everything. The manuscript laid it all out. How he used my introduction to slip unnoticed into high society. How he planned each theft down to the last detail. How he played London like a violin. He wrote with pride, as though it were all a game. To him, it was. I was stunned. My name had helped open those doors. I had vouched for him. Though I'd done nothing knowingly, I had become an accomplice in reputation, if not in action. I thought long and hard about what to do with his confession. In the end, I published it. Perhaps out of guilt. Perhaps because I believed people deserved to know. Let it stand as a tale of how charm can mask cunning, how trust can be a tool, and how the most dangerous criminals wear not masks, but smiles.